Jim, guys now 3 of the last 4 years from their alma maters have won the national championship. Gary Williams, Boeheim, and now Roy Williams. This is the only way it could end, coming down to the last minute. You think of all the stories, all the people on this incredible journey, the ones that maybe didn't even win a game who had their special time in the spotlight, those like the Golden Grizzlies of Oakland University, Delaware State and the Hornets, and Coach Greg Jackson and his son. The Vermonts with the stunning upset, Bucknell with one of the greatest ever, West Virginia and that bunch, and Illinois with its greatest season in 100 years of basketball. 15 Winks residing at #1 in its first ever trip to a final. A splendid season indeed. But Roy Williams has his championship. So many similarities with this team of 2005 with the '93 champions. Undefeated at home. So many parallels. What a birthday for Sean May. And at the Dean Smith Center, the celebration is well underway. Well, we'll remember so many of those lasting images coming up with one shining moment. North Carolina is the national champion. As the madness began in March, it ends in April. And it belongs to May and his teammates of North Carolina.
Your final score from St. Louis, North Carolina 75, Illinois 70. Welcome back to St. Louis, everyone. We remind you tonight on The Late Show, don't miss P. Diddy. And tomorrow, Dave is all new with Drew Barrymore and Charles Barkley. The Late Show, followed by Craig Ferguson right here on CBS after your late local news. Coming up later on the postgame show, our special annual tribute to the NCAA tournament, One Shining Moment. Our Chevrolet Most Valuable Players of the 2005 National Championship game. For North Carolina, Sean May, 26 points, 9 rebounds. When his dad won the national championship with Indiana, his dad had 26 points and 8 rebounds in that title game. For Illinois, Luther Head, 21 points and 5 rebounds, an outstanding effort on both sides. Let's go back down to the floor. Jim and Billy are standing by with the winning Tar Heels. Jim, take it away.
St. Louis, first off, you've been a great host city. And North Carolina Tar Heels are celebrating. Coach, I've always really aboard that title of best to have never done something, and tonight only reaffirms what everybody who knows college basketball has always known. You're a great coach, and you have your championship. What is in your mind right now?
I'm just so happy for myself, my family, yes, but these seniors that went 8-20 and what they put through for 4 years, and they took me for a heck of a ride, and we love our families up there. We hope you're enjoying these moments. Big Sean May, Raymond Felton, Melvin Scott, Jawad Williams, Marvin Williams, Rashad McCants, David Noel down the line. What this was a victory for North Carolina's team.
And, you know, I want to say this. You mentioned all these kids, and I know there are a lot of kids that have been with you along the way that are right now on your mind, including these who are surrounding you right now.
You know, for 15 years, I had great kids at Kansas. Last 3 or 4 days, I've had 5 or 6 of them call me and wish good luck and said that we were playing for them too. These guys right here, I can't say too much about them. I'm speechless. I usually talk my rear end off, but right now I'm speechless.
Hey, Sean May, that was one of the most dominating performances we've seen in a long time. Happy birthday. How's your day been so far?
Oh, it's been unbelievable. My teammates friends and family, they supported us, had a little birthday get-together last night. I'll never forget this until the day I die. This is the best moment I've ever had in my whole life.
You know, you showed your team that tape of the '76 championship, and you really, interestingly, wanted to show them the celebration. And now tonight you had your own. How can you put it into words what it is like to have a national championship with this punch?
This celebration is a lot better than that '76 celebration because it's my celebration in this team, you know. I finally got to go through it with these guys. My dad talked about it for so many years, and I never really understood, you know, what it was like. I never won anything on this level. And for my teammates and for coach and the coaching staff, all the hard work we put in this summer and getting better, it just, you can't describe what's going through our minds right now.
Raymond, we'll get back to you. We're going to take a little bit of break right now. We talked to the big. Now I want to talk to the big little man who's indispensable for this club. We'll be right back.
We'll continue from St. Louis. One shining moment's coming up shortly. North Carolina is the national champion.
The Edward Jones Dome here in St. Louis still buzzing over a terrific national championship game. North Carolina, the 2005 NCAA champs, 75-70 over Illinois. Now it's time for the presentation of the NCAA championship trophy. Here's public address announcer Gene Honda.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Mr. Bob Bowlesby, athletic director at the University of Iowa and chairman of the Division I Men's Basketball Committee, accompanied by Dr. Miles Brand, president of the NCAA, will present the National Championship Trophy.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me congratulate both of these fine universities and these outstanding basketball teams for a great performance in this year's Division I men's basketball tournament. And now it is my pleasure, on behalf of the National Collegiate Athletic Association and NCAA President Miles Brand, to present this year's Division I men's basketball tournament championship trophy to Coach Roy Williams and the North Carolina Tar Heels.
2005 tournament goes to the North Carolina Tar Heels, the best in the land. We're back to St. Louis with more here on CBS after this. It has been a terrific Final Four weekend here in St. Louis, culminating in tonight's 75-70 national championship win by North Carolina. These magnificent aerial views of the gracious host city are brought to you courtesy of Monster. Today's the day. Tonight on The Late Show, don't miss P. Diddy, followed by Craig Ferguson right here on CBS after your late local news. And still to come on the post-game show, a special championship tradition continues with our tribute to the tournament, One Shining Moment. Greg Gumbel welcoming you back to St. Louis along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis. There is no question in a wonderfully played game tonight that the difference was Sean May.
Without question, we talked about it at the start. He's been the most dominating player in the tournament, and he showed again how dominating he can be, not only scoring the basketball, but getting James Augustine into early foul trouble, leading to him only playing 9 minutes. But his ability to finish around the goal, the way he so effectively uses that ample, strong body of his, and then the hands. A gift to have those kind of hands and the ability to finish and to raise his level in a game of this magnitude. A special, special player, Sean May.
Well, Illinois did not win tonight, but they certainly played like champions. And in a game like this, just a couple of key plays down the stretch. This was one of them. Raymond Felton jumping into the passing lane. Luther Head had a chance to tie it late in the game. In the waning seconds, couldn't connect. Illinois was 12 for 40. Sean May did not get the rebound here, but he kept the tip alive to Raymond Felton. Felton made the free throws, and that's the difference in a wonderfully played championship game.
Dean Smith won his first title in 1982. It was his career win number 468. His one-time assistant Roy Williams wins his first with career win number 470. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from Illinois head coach Bruce Weber as we continue live from St. Louis in just a moment. As the North Carolina Tar Heels cut down the nets after their 5-point victory over Illinois, that's Rashad McCants taking his turn. We welcome you back to the Edward Jones Dome here in St. Louis. The dream season ended here this evening for Illinois. Our Bonnie Bernstein caught up with Illinois head coach Bruce Weber a short while ago.
I'm sure everybody was thinking, here we go again, another 15-point comeback by your squad. You tied it up with 5.5 left. How did it slip away?
Well, we just, I think we tired. We played to exhaustion, and that's all I asked the kids to do. I didn't think we fought very hard in the first half. They wanted it more. It was more important to them. The second half, we wanted it more, came back. We just thought if we looked at Michigan State's game, if it got where we had to shoot 70 shots, they were probably going to win, and that's what happened. They shot the ball better than us, but we went down fighting. And, we had a couple looks. Darren had a look, Luther had a look. They didn't go down. It wasn't meant to be. They've been a tremendous group. Can't ask for more. They've been focused all year. A lot of people doubted, and, they kept coming back. And, today they were just better. They're a very good ball club. It's tough to stop May, and then when they shoot the ball well, there's not much you can do.
You were the only coach here in St. Louis who had yet to be to a Final Four. Tell me what you'll remember about your first trip here and this team's remarkable run to a 37-win season.
Well, I remember the year, the journey. It's been unbelievable. I told the kids that. They shouldn't hang their heads. They've been such a special group, so focused. It's just been a blast. And then the Final Four, just from crossing the bridge and seeing the arch, knowing we were here, to the salute that they had the first evening, to the practice, 31,000, unbelievable, the orange everywhere, to the games. It's just, and then, this is a classic game. It's going to go down as one. Everyone wanted 1-2 matchup. They gave it. We gave a fight. We just couldn't get over the hump.
Coach, thanks so much.
You heard Bruce Weber say it. They couldn't stop Sean May, and you saw it. Sean May of North Carolina has been named the most outstanding player of the Final Four here in St. Louis. A timeout, and we'll be back with one shining moment as we continue live from St. Louis in a moment. There's our final score. North Carolina 75-70 over Illinois. Head coach Roy Williams ascends the ladder to cut down yet another strand of a championship net as we welcome you back to St. Louis one final time with this reminder. Tonight on The Late Show, don't miss P. Diddy. And tomorrow, Dave's All New with Drew Barrymore and Charles Barkley. The Late Show followed by Craig Ferguson right here on CBS after your late local news. CBS Sports' 50th consecutive year of coverage of the Masters begins with late night highlights this Thursday and Friday at 11:35 Eastern Time. And then live third round coverage gets underway on Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. And Sunday's final round comes your way at 2:30 Eastern Time. Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis, another great season. Always fun being with you. Let's do this again next year, shall we?
I'll hopefully be back.
Agreed.
All right, guys. We congratulate North Carolina and Coach Roy Williams, for whom the third time in the title game has proven to be the charm. We also tip our hats to Coach Bruce Weber and his Fighting Illini, who have suffered only their second loss in a memorable season for Illinois basketball. I'm Greg Gumbel. For all of us here at CBS Sports, thank you for being with us. And as we look forward to next season, CBS Sports' 25th consecutive as the home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, we bid you good night from St. Louis with Luther Vandross and one shining moment.
Ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. In all the years, no one knows just how hard you worked. But now it shows. In one shining moment, it's all on the line. In one shining moment, they're time is short and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done, win or Feel the beat of your heart. Feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest. It's more than a...
It's March. Take a deep breath. Here we go.
He pulls up. Down low, jump shot. He knows. Sparks, one last chance.
Win or lose, you always hit your best. 'Cause inside you, we going, baby. We going, baby. In one shining moment, you reach for the sky. In one shining moment, you knew, yeah.
How about that? Look at that pass.
In one shining moment, you knew.
All down to this one. Pass to Marvin Williams.
One shining moment.
McCann, big three. Tipped up and in by Marvin Williams. There is a new teen in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title.
Live from North Carolina's state capitol, this is WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The national championship comes back to Tobacco Road. Deborah Morgan is in Chapel Hill. We'll hear from her shortly in our complete coverage of North Carolina's big 75-70 win over Illinois.
And speaking of Chapel Hill, this is a live picture, folks, of Franklin Street from Sky 5. A sea of fanatical Tar Heels is all you can see. We have 3 crews in Chapel Hill covering the Carolina victory. And don't forget about our crews covering the big game at the Arch. WRAL's Ken Smith and Jeff Gravely will join us shortly live from St. Louis. After the final basket, it didn't take long for fans to flood Franklin Street.
That's where we continue our Arch Madness coverage with our co-anchor, Deborah Morgan. Deborah, I imagine things are a little heated at this point.
Oh, Gerald, you got that right. This is the place to be for happy Tar Heel fans. Just look at Franklin Street. This is the corner of Columbia and Franklin Street. It's almost like a mecca for the Tar Heel fans. They started streaming out of the dorms, out of businesses, out of bars, out of the frat houses, out of the Dean Dome. Everybody marching their way right here. We obviously have thousands and thousands of people down here. A lot of people holding up these, a special News and Observer edition, and it's got Sean May, the MVP, right on the cover. Nothing finer, and that's how these Tar Heel fans feel tonight. Let's go up and get a bird's eye view now from Sky 5, and Kelsey Carlson is up there live. Kelsey.
It's amazing when you see it from the air. Let's go ahead and go to the ground street level. You can see just a massive crowd of people on Franklin and Columbia streets. This is a gathering here at the intersection of Franklin and Columbia. You can see thousands of people. I would estimate more than 7,000, which was the crowd on Saturday night. We've got a big fire going in the middle. We've seen at least 3 fires started in the street, and we have seen street signs, bicycles, and people going into those fires. You can see people jumping through the fire right there. That's a relatively small one, but at the bigger fire, we have people who are jumping through, colliding with other people, and you can see them actually fall into the middle of it. Obviously a dangerous situation. It's something that police are concerned about. Firefighters will get in there and put those fires out when they can. They do not want those fires started because on Saturday night, worst case scenario, 3 people had to go to the hospital suffering from burns. Obviously this is an excited crowd though. The second the game was over, we saw people spilling into the street, putting their hands in the air, celebrating. The streets are blocked off. This is something that the town of Chapel Hill allows these students and fans to do, to celebrate for a while after a big game like this. And you can see people, fists in the air, flashes of the cameras going wild in the crowd. It's just an unbelievable scene. All these people are so excited to be a part of it. And we're going to continue throughout the newscast to show you some great pictures from the air. For right now, we're going to go back to Deborah on the ground.
All right, Kelsey, thanks. You're right about the police presence, too. We have 275 officers who are here on Franklin Street. As a matter of fact, they kind of set up this roadblock here. They're making everybody dump anything that could be burned into these trash cans. As a matter of fact, that's how I I got the newspaper because they were confiscating that. You see the toilet paper going through, though. People have actually been setting off fireworks, too, right in the middle of everybody. That's not allowed, but obviously with all these people, the officers can't get absolutely everything. But we do have quite a police presence out here. But as you said, Kelsey, people are just trying to have fun, too. This is a very well-behaved crowd. People just trying to take pictures, trying to make memories, trying to remember this moment. Cam and Gerald, for now, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, Deborah, the night is young.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that.
We will hear from you again later in the show, Deb.
Now, the hottest ticket in town was free. People piled into the Dean Smith Center. That's where Gloria Lopez is tonight, and I imagine you're all alone right about now, Gloria.
Gerald, they have actually emptied out, as you might imagine. You know where they're on their way to, but it was amazing to see tens of thousands of fans all react in the winning moment. They all went down and flooded the ground here at the Dean Smith Center. Win or lose, these fans were here to support their team. If the players are the warriors, then the fans are their foot soldiers.
If you're gonna go into battle, you better have some war paint on, right?
15,000 people, the ballpark figure inside the dome, to cheer for the Heels from home.
Some people are at parties off campus, but I mean, this is the biggest party going, right?
Annie Talbert is a 44-year season ticket holder. At 78, she's been waiting a while for this, in line and in life.
It's been a long time since been to a Final Four.
Got here about 5 o'clock. So you've been waiting for about 2-3 hours?
Yes, but it seems like it's only been a few minutes.
And so it ends where it began.
Look at this energy. There was no other place that I'd rather be watching this game but the Dean Dome, because this is where it all happens. This is our home court.
And the Heels will be doing some redecorating. Chalk up another championship banner.
I cannot describe it. It's a feeling of exhilaration.
Out of control. That's the best way to describe it. Out of control. Tar Heels #1 again, baby. Marvin Williams #1. Baby.
Nothing but a little bit of cleaning up going on now here at the Dean Dome, but as you might imagine, this cleanup probably going to be a little easier than the task they'll have ahead on Franklin Street, because, Gerald, we heard more than a few people say that if there was a UNC win, they were headed straight to Franklin Street.
Oh, and they're there, believe me. Thank you. Gloria Lopez live in Chapel Hill.
Well, our Arch Madness coverage doesn't stop once the team leaves St. Louis. In fact, we will have live coverage when the team lands tomorrow at RDU International. That's around 3:45. A welcome home rally should begin at 4:15 at the Dean Smith Center.
And Tom Suter, you were there 12 years ago when North Carolina won its last national championship. Different year, different team, same excitement.
Same excitement. You know, we said in our pregame show, Sean May could be the difference. Live by the jump shot, die by the jump shot. Illinois did that. Sean May got easy baskets inside on it. He was the most valuable player. He was a big difference. You just saw it, Gerald, on the Big Five. Carolina, Illinois, the national championship is on the line. Let's go to the videotape. Michael Jordan in the building. MJ wearing the Carolina blue sweatsuit. Heels out quickly. Rashad McCants. 4-3. Gets the bounce. Got it. Part of a 9-0 run, but Illinois, they fight back. Luther ahead for 3. Part of a 10-0 run. They lead at 12-9. Carolina loves to run in transition. Raymond Felton, sweet pass. Sean May for the Jamburger. Now it's 27-25. Carolina. Felton for 3. Make it 30-25. And the Heels close on a 13-2 run. McCants for 3. Yes, 40-27. Carolina at the break. Second half, Illinois down 15. Here they come. D. Brown for 3. Then Darren Williams for 3 more. They hit their first 6 shots of the half. But the Illini have no answer for Sean May all night. May, yes, and the foul. 62-55 Heels. May with 26. But Illinois again. Luther head for 3. He's got it tied at 70. Now 70-70. Rashad McCants on the drive. No. Marvin Williams, the freshman. The tip is good. It's good. 72-70. Illinois will have their chances to tie. Cannot get it to fall. Roy Williams has his first. North Carolina has its 4th. The Tar Heels are national champions. Final score, Carolina 75, Illinois 70. Jeff Gravely had a front row seat for tonight's big game. He's outside the Edwards-Jones Dome in St. Louis with some thoughts, analysis, and what have you. Take it away, Jeff. It is yours.
Tom, and I have props, too. Walked outside of the arena, and look at there, look at there. Tar Nation with Sean May on the cover. Of course he should be on the cover. The most outstanding player. He was just phenomenal tonight, as you mentioned. And also, I have more props. Jay Hardy sprinted outside and made sure I got this little T-shirt. North Carolina national champions for the first time, unbelievably, under Roy Williams. You know, you talk about Roy Williams. Everybody said Roy can't win the big one. There was a guy sitting behind me in the stands from Kansas. He said, uh-oh, here we go again. Roy's going to choke this one away. But old Roy proved tonight that he can win the big one. He is now 6-0 in the NCAA tournament here in St. Louis. They ought to schedule a regional here every year if it's up to Roy Williams. But also, he joins an interesting company. There are 3 coaches who have taken 2 different teams to the national championship game. They all have Tar Heel ties. Roy Williams took Kansas to the national championship game. North Carolina to the championship game, won it. Larry Brown took UCLA to the championship game, took Kansas to the championship game in '88. And how about this? Frank McGuire took St. John's to the final game, and of course North Carolina in 1957. So unbelievably, all Tar Heel ties. North Carolina national champions under Roy Williams. We will hear from the coach and the players much more from St. Louis. Let's head back to Gerald Owens, big fella. What a night here in the Loop.
Oh, what a night here in Chapel Hill. Jeff Gravely, thank you very much. We'll talk to you in just a minute. We're going to go back to Deborah Morgan now, who is live above Franklin Street, where the party is continuing. Deborah, how's it going?
If you look at this videotape, we're seeing somebody trying to take home a little piece of Franklin Street. Literally, they're climbing up there on a pole, trying to take home the Franklin Street sign. Now, the guy didn't have any luck, so he ended up climbing back down again. But it is that crazy. As a matter of fact, they're taking down street signs, trying to go ahead and put those in the fire, seeing if they'll burn. But they're trying to burn everything out here. I want to introduce you now to Theo and his son, Theo, and they are out here enjoying all this mayhem. What do you think about all this?
Go Tar Heels!
You live in Chapel Hill?
Yeah, I live in Chapel Hill on McDade Street.
And you just came out here right after the game, and this is not your first time out here for a celebration.
No, I've been here for 82, 1993, and 2005.
What do you think? How does this one compare?
This is the best one because now my son can enjoy it with me, so this is the best one. Go Tar Heels!
A real family affair, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think about the team this year? I mean, they've certainly come such a long way.
Well, they gave us a scare a little bit here and there, and we had a couple of close victories, but we got the job done, so we the best team out right now.
It's a lot of fun. We'll enjoy it. Theo, how are you doing? You having fun?
Yes.
What do you think you like the best about out here?
It's fun.
All the people? Yeah, it is quite a scene out here. We are getting just more and more people coming down here. Thank you very much. And we're going to go.
Happy birthday, Sean May.
Happy birthday, Sean May. It is a big celebration for a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I met another lady out here. It's her birthday, too. So a lot of celebrating going on. We're going to go back up live to Sky 5. Kelsey Carlson has the bird's eye view for us. Kelsey?
They just keep coming and coming. This crowd is building by the minute. We can make out at least 4 fires in the streets. This is a big one that you're looking at right now. That is the one where we saw street signs and a bicycle go into. And then you can see smaller fires here that are getting bigger by the moment as well. Students, fans are jumping through the fire, which is obviously a dangerous situation. Many of them colliding as they try to jump from either side. Then you have people who are just dancing, high-fiving, and we saw beach ball jumping around in the crowd as well. The amazing thing, if Gil can just take it kind of wide, when you look at it from the air, you can really take in the number of camera flashes. It is just a light show from up here in the sky. So you know that a lot of people are building great memories tonight. This is something that they're going to remember as part of their college experience or however they're tied to UNC. But yeah, this is a huge crowd, and I would say it's at least 10,000 right now. Deborah?
Yeah, and I was out here for the 93 celebration as well, and I think we're at least at that many people. And we got up to about 25,000 people back in 1993, so you can see that we're going to have at least that many. The weather is just perfect out here. It is a beautiful night. Now, you probably can't tell very well, but the street was actually sprayed with water. When we were, before the game ended, we were watching a street sprayer just come by here several times, wetting down the pavement. They were hoping that maybe that would mean that it wouldn't burn the fires quite as long, but as you can see, that's really not slowing down much of any of the celebration out here. Pam and Jared, we'll send it back to you for now.
You know, it's interesting. Deborah, thank you. She mentioned that they sprayed the streets with water. They also sprayed some of the street signs with oil to keep people from going up them, but somehow that guy swinging from the sign, he found a way to do it.
He taped sandpaper to his hands.
Probably so.
Carolina fans in St. Louis may have felt the orange crush inside the Edward Jones Dome tonight, but didn't last long. Of course, it all ended Carolina blue.
Yep, it's estimated half of the 46,000 fans who attended the game cheered for Illinois, but Ken Smith is live in St. Louis right now with more on tonight's game. Ken?
Hey, Pam and Gerald, the fans are still pouring out of the Edward Jones Dome. Now, even though Carolina were outnumbered by Illinois fans, the Tar Heels are the ones going home happy. Fans making the march to the arch without tickets had this outdoor front row seat.
We're not cool enough for tickets, so I'm just kidding. We like standing outside. It's a lot of fun.
13 minutes into the first half, armchair coaches rooting for Carolina were in rare form.
Raymond's handling the ball well. I think defense just got to pick it up.
Come on, defense!
UNC law student Manisha Durawala drove 12 hours to be here for Roy's boys.
They live in my apartment complex, so I saw them before, and then we saw them when we got here.
By halftime, the Heels were up by 13, and Carolina fans were feeling good.
North Carolina's got it. They're sick.
Show me Heels! Show me Heels!
The second half ended just like the first, only this time, Carolina won the game.
A little bit hoarse. We came out here to show them, that's show me state, show me Heels, we did it. I'm very happy.
What are your thoughts right now?
Man, dream come true, man. Dream come true. Yep, love it.
Oh, I'm excited. Tar Heels won! Go Heels!
You're looking live right now at one of the entrances to the Edward Jones Dome. Most of the people coming out right now are wearing Carolina blue because most of them stayed inside the dome to see the nets being cut down, to see the trophy presentation. Had a chance to talk to a lot of fans. A lot of them were really emotional because they've really waited a long time for this. Pam and Gerald?
Oh, a lot of people here waited a long time as well, Ken. Ken, we'll talk to you a little bit later. Ken Smith reporting from St. Louis.
Well, it is a marvelous night for a celebration, and we're going to have much more from St. Louis. But right now, we're going to go to Roy Williams, who's having a news conference right now in St. Louis. Well, we'll be right.
It's a great moment for our staff, not just for me. It's a great moment for our families. It's a great moment for these youngsters who have these moments and these thrills and these memories for the rest of their lives. And the 2005 team was a team out there tonight. We were criticized a little bit, and there was a bias towards talent, but our group was a team. And can't say enough about Illinois. They came out in the second half and just made every single shot. I grabbed Bruce and told him, I've been in his position. I've been there. I know exactly what he's feeling, but they had a remarkable, remarkable year. Tonight, we were the better team. If we played them, 10 times, who knows what would happen. But the NCAA tournament is only one game and one win, and we were fortunate enough to get it. The city of St. Louis and the NCAA tournament committee were fantastic, and these two rascals sitting beside me and a few other ones in that locker room have given me memories that will be with me forever.
Starting the center aisle on our left.
Raymond, can you talk about, did you have to talk Coach Williams into letting you stay in after you got your second foul? And also, what did you see on that last steal when you stole the ball from Luther?
I just told Coach Williams I was fine when I got my second foul. I told him I'd be okay. I was going to play it smart. But on the steal situation, I just did what Coach Williams been telling me to do all season. Deny the pass. And basically, they threw the ball into my hands, and I just knocked it away and went and got it.
Front row on the left.
Sean, what was it about Illinois' defense that allowed you to have the game you had?
They play really, really good defense, especially on the perimeter. But I think they extend so much, it leaves a wide gap, especially to double down. And we noticed, Coach told us before the game, they normally double from the 4 or 5. So we tried to have the 4 or 5 feed me. And our guards did a great job, and I got going, and they just kept feeding me. And I got to the free throw line a little bit, and it was just a great night for our team.
About 8 rows back on the right aisle and then back behind that.
Raymond, when it got tight there about middle of the second half, you went into Sean 6 straight possessions. Were you under orders to do so, or was that you just reading the situation and getting it inside him?
Say again?
Were you under orders from the sidelines to get it into Sean, or was that you just reading the situation and going inside to him?
Both. I mean, he was just killing. I mean, why wouldn't I give it to him? And then everybody was screaming, get the ball inside to Sean. I mean, it was the right thing to do.
Back behind that one.
Sean, you said before that you'd like to win a championship to ease the criticism on Coach Williams. What does it mean to you to finally do that?
It just means that, you know, a lot of you guys out there who try to pick and, you know, find little spots to criticize somebody. This doesn't mean that he's a better coach than he was yesterday, like he said. But this just means when you talk about, you know, some of the great coaches out there who've won championships, you have to say Coach Williams now because he's done it all. And for me, it's very gratifying. You know, for many years, you know, down the line, he'll always talk about this 2005 team, how special we were and the things we did, and you know, how through adversity we stuck together, even, you know, when the outside world, you know, didn't really give us a fair shot.
Our far left, please.
Yes, a question for Sean, actually, too. You ran off with the basketball in your hands like you wanted to keep it. Who did you give it to? And also, now that you're 21, do you think your father will allow you to toast with champagne?
When I grabbed the ball, Ray was a little mad at me because normally at the end of the game he takes it, and I just ran with it. I had no clue, and I ran over to coach and I let it go, and where it went I have no idea. So, you know, somebody probably got a souvenir or whatever. I don't really care about that. And you know, for my 21st birthday, you know, a very special friend of mine bought me a bottle of Dom Perignon, and we'll have some champagne when we get back. Wes Miller.
Second row, center aisle, please.
Yeah, Sean, you matched your father's 26 points in a final game and also matched his most outstanding player in a championship. What does that mean to you? What does that say?
For me, you know, it means a lot because I've tried to live up to my father's expectations, even though he hasn't wanted me to, but I've tried to do some of the things that he's done, especially the way I carry myself and the type of person I am. But it's very gratifying to know that you set goals for yourself and you're able to achieve those goals. But, you know, when we sit down tonight and talk about the game, I'm telling him, you know, you might have had 26 points and you might have been a Final Four MVP, but I had 10 boards and you didn't do that. So we'll have some fun with that.
And, you know, the other thing on that, you know who it's going to be most gratifying to? His father. And it's a great, great family.
Standing in the aisle on our right, please.
Sean, along those lines, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to your dad yet. If you have, what was that conversation like? If you haven't, what do you think it's going to be like?
I think, you know, my dad, he's not a very emotional person, but he might get a little bit emotional because, I mean, he pulls so much for me and for this team. I mean, he loves so many guys on this team, and he tries to stay back and tries not to, you know, get involved with our team. And, you know, sometimes I have to listen to all our problems, and you know, he picks and nitpicks about every little thing. So I'm sure he'll be extremely excited, and you know, he probably will get a little bit emotional. I tried to find him after the game, and you know, he ducked off into a corner because, you know, he's a little shy sometimes.
Center aisle on our left, and then right across that aisle.
Very similar question. Did your father say anything special to you before the game tonight?
No, we talked before every game, and you know, this is probably the shortest conversation we've had, and he just said, hey, you've been playing long enough, you know what you have to do, you have one shot, and you'll never forget this moment if you get it done, and you guys are good enough to get it done if you play the way you're supposed to play. And he just said, son, I love you and I'm proud of you, but go get it done. And I'm extremely happy, you know, to finally, you know, get this done.
Straight across that aisle.
Sean, you've watched your dad's film a bunch of times. Will you ever watch it again? And when you watch your own film, what particular parts will you keep playing back over and over again?
You know, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. I've watched it 3 times in the last 2 days because a couple of guys, I watched it last night, a couple of guys wanted to watch it today, and it came on ESPN Classic, a little clip of it. And, you know, I think when I watch our film, you know, the best thing to me is Coach, you know, he said we need 3 straight stops, and we got 3 straight stops, but we didn't get the ball. And we deflected the ball twice out of bounds. Marvin dove for it once out of bounds. And, again, they came down, and we got another stop. And just when Ray got that steal, to me was the biggest play in the game because it shifted the momentum, and you could see the look on some of those guys' faces that they didn't think they had a chance to pull it out.
We'll take 3 more for Raymond or Sean. We'll start in the 3rd row in front of me here.
For Raymond, if you could just talk, yesterday you talked about it makes you mad when people say you guys are talented and not a team. What does tonight's championship say, and what does it mean to you?
I'm just waiting to hear what everybody got to say at this point. I'm just waiting to hear. I mean, we won the national championship. If everybody's still saying the same thing, at this point, I really don't care. But, I think we came out tonight and we proved that we are a team. We are together. I mean, we're going to win a national championship if they're not together. We also are talented. I believe them on that part. But we also are together, too, as one.
Front row and then the third row.
Ray, if you could kind of relive those last few minutes for us. You hit a big three, you make the steal, you get a big rebound. If you could just talk about the tenseness of the situation and the kind of things that maybe went through your mind down the stretch as you made one play after another.
I mean, it all boils down to what Coach has been saying all season. Do whatever it takes, to get a win. Make it happen. And that's what I did. I got a big key steal. I took a big time shot, and then I got a key rebound at the end. I just made plays. I just went after the ball. It's all about heart. That's what our team have. We have heart.
Third row.
What were your thoughts when Illinois tied the score at 70-70?
For me, I was very confident in us because we've been in that position so many times this year where, we would have liked to, from halftime blow it up to a 20-point game. But, it's a national championship. It's not supposed to be easy. And, Coach, we came over to the sideline. He just said, we're fine. Everybody look at me and let's do this. We'll get a good shot, and we'll go down and get a stop. And, we believe in each other. We believe in Coach, and that's what we did. We got, I think, either Rashad or Raymond hit a big shot coming out of a timeout, and we came down. We got 3 straight stops, and they ended up getting the ball back off all those stops, and we did it again. And that just shows the toughness of this team, the mental approach we have, and we're just blessed right now to be in the position that we're in.
I can't say it no better. Sean summed it up. I mean, we just kept our poise and we made plays. We stopped them on the defensive end and we made plays and we hit some key free throws at the end.
Raymond and Sean, thank you very much. Congratulations. We'll start on my far left and then we have one up front.
Thank you, son. Thank you, big fella.
All right, and there is the post-game news conference with the MVP, the head coach.
Yeah.
What a night.
An emotional Roy Williams, talking about his first championship, of course, and the players emotional as well, Sean May talking about his father and how proud.
And playing with heart. He said, we played with heart, we played as a team, and that's how they won. And there's so much more to come tomorrow, to be specific. You can wake up with UNC's post-game news conference on the WRL News Channel, the whole thing. We will replay the entire post-game comments at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. That's digital cable channel 256.
That's right, and we're not done yet.
No, at least part of Greg's forecast is fit for a champion. You haven't heard that yet. Details coming up, and right now you're looking live at Franklin Street. They're not going home.
No, they're burning everything in sight.
And they're burning everything in sight, celebrating their national championship. More Arch Madness after this.
We're Tar Heels at the game tonight.
That's right. We're going to go now to Jeff Gravely with more post-game hoopla. Jeff?
Well, there was one particular Tar Heel, former Tar Heel, that was here sporting that light blue sweatsuit. He was up in a suite, had the lights off, but at the end of the game, look who greeted North Carolina at the locker room. Michael Jordan himself. Can you imagine that you're a player, you've just won the national championship, and you walked in and there's MJ with his national championship hat on. Way to go, guys. High fives from Michael Jordan. I know it was a shock for all. Raymond Felton and Rashad McCants, all the big boys walking in the locker room and saying hello to Mr. Michael Jordan. Now, I'm joined right now by former Tar Heel Hubert Davis. Hubert, can you just put into words what it means to the Carolina family to win another national championship?
Yeah, you can't put that into words. We always want to win a national championship, and sometimes you don't have the opportunity to do that. But these guys played really well. They did the things that Coach Williams wanted them to do, and fortunate enough, they were able to win a national championship.
Now, you never played for Roy, right?
No, he recruited me and then went to Kansas, so I'm glad he's back here in the North Carolina family, and I'm glad he got his first national championship.
I know in the NBA you guys have a lot of fun. talking about your alma mater. What was it like as a North Carolina alum at 8-20, and what will it be like now with another national championship?
Well, it's going to be nice going back in that locker room tomorrow. And, you know, North Carolina's had a storied history. They were always successful. And when we were 8-20, a lot of guys took a couple of shots at us, but we're back now. And even if we didn't win tonight, we really represented the University of North Carolina very well.
There were a lot of NBA alums here tonight.
Yeah, there was. I saw Mitch Kupchak and George Karl, and got to see Coach Guthridge. So everybody was back here supporting the Tar Heels.
How special is it for you to get to witness this? What will you always remember about this night?
Well, it's tough being a fan. I like being out there on the court. I wanted to cheer on the guys so hard, and it's really tough standing up there in the stands. But it was just an enjoyable moment to be able to share that moment with these young men, and they're never going to forget this moment.
So you finally retired from the NBA?
Yeah, it's time to relax, no more ice on the knees, and spend time with my beautiful wife and my 2 children.
Hubert, thanks a ton for coming by, and I see you got the light blue on.
Yeah, we're good.
Go get you a national championship T-shirt.
We will.
Thanks a lot. We're going to throw it back to you guys in the studio. Much more from the locker room in a bit. We'll throw it back to you guys.
All right, once a Tar Heel, always a Tar Heel, isn't it?
Yeah, those happy feelings are in St. Louis. Those happy feelings are right here in Chapel Hill.
That's right. Deborah Morgan is standing street side on Franklin Street, where a lot of stuff is burning right about now. Deborah, I hope you're not involved in any of that.
That's for sure. No, we do have a lot of bonfires going on, but welcome to Chapel Hill, home of the national champion Tar Heels. It's been 12 years since the Tar Heels won a national championship, so these fans are really soaking it up. They are loving every second of it. Just look at even more and more people just keep coming out here. I just talked to a police officer who told me that, yes, indeed, they do believe 25,000 people are out here, so that would match the 93 championship crowd that came out here to celebrate as well. The good news in all of this, no problems. They said it's been a very good crowd, no major issues. They do have some fireworks going off in the middle of the crowd. Of course, people jumping over the bonfires, but they say all in all, this has been a very well-behaved crowd, and they're really excited to be out here along with all the fans. Let's jump to Sky 5 again, get that bird's eye view from Kelsey Carlson. Kelsey.
Deborah, it really is amazing to see this from the air, and we count now 6 fires that have started and are still burning on Franklin Street. You can see Gil kind of pushed in on this one that's been going for a while. At least the crowd has moved away from the center of the fire just a bit. For a while there, everyone was really crowded in, tightly packed and very close to the flames. We have seen people obviously jumping through the fires, which you can see right now, and they're fanning the flames with their shirts, and we've seen several shirts head into those fires as well. But for the most part, we can see people just kind of standing in the street. Thousands of people just packed, especially around the corner of Franklin and Columbia Streets. If we can zoom out all the way wide, you can see just how massive this crowd is. And it is nearly or probably more than double just in the last 20-25 minutes. As you head down Franklin Street toward Durham, it thins out a little bit, and then where the people stop, the traffic starts. They've got the road blocked there at Franklin Street, but look at that traffic backup. And that's Franklin Street headed toward 15501 toward Durham. And I can imagine a lot of people either coming into town or leaving town from the Smith Center. But it is, they're not going to let you on Franklin Street right now. They are saving that area for the fans to celebrate. But they are going to be moving pretty slowly if they are trying to get out of town. The party continues up here in the air. We can again see about 6 fires burning, and the crowd just enjoying this championship title. Deborah?
Yeah, and police say that they're really going to let people keep partying until they want to stop. So we're easily going to go to 1:30, maybe even 2:30 in the morning. They said as long as the crowd wants to stay out here, basically, and there are no problems, they're going to let them keep going just as long as they want. We're going to keep going, too. We are not done yet. We're going to send it back to the studio for now, but we are not going anywhere. We will be right here, Pam and Gerald.
Let them tire themselves out.
Let them get it all out.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
All right,
Deb, thank you. Great weather for those fans, too, out in the streets.
Yeah, they couldn't ask for a whole lot more than that, I'll tell you. And I was just thinking back to the first national championship game that was played after I moved to Raleigh in 1982.
Yeah.
North
It
Carolina.
was Jordan's team, right?
That's right,
Okay.
exactly. They won the national championship, and then State followed it up the next year. So
Yeah.
I got off to a booming start
Yes,
when
you
I
did.
was here those first couple. But congratulations to the Heels. Just a great season, and always fun to take home the big one. All right, let's go on ahead and take a look at the Viper tonight, and the 7 live sweeps not showing anything precipitation-wise over North Carolina. As we go back out to the wide view, there is some activity in the western part of the country. The system causing that will be tapping into moisture from the Gulf of Mexico later this week, and that'll be our next chance of precipitation. And the heaviest stuff in the country tonight in Montana, just about ready to cross over into Canada. There's actually been some thunder and lightning with that activity up there in eastern Montana tonight. High temperatures yesterday around the eastern United States were plenty warm. In fact, the warmth extended all the way up to Des Moines, Iowa, where they hit 82 degrees. These are the numbers for Monday at RDU, 75 and 41, just slightly above normal. And the midnight current conditions, 54 and 43, the temperature in the dew point. Winds are calm and the skies are clear. As you can see, there are a couple of 40s showing up. We're looking up here at Roxborough. They're at 48 degrees, also 49 at Rocky Mount Wilson. Everybody else, or most everybody else, in the 50s at this hour. The winds in the upper atmosphere, this is the next system out here in the western part of the country. That little dip in the lines will be progressing eastward across the U.S. It still won't be close enough to bother us right on through Wednesday. So tomorrow, well, later today, and Wednesday look really, really nice. Then, as that bowling ball type system, if you will, continues to head eastward, we will come under the influence of that on Thursday. That'll be our next chance of showers and thunderstorms, and this is going to be a slow-moving system, so at least some shower activity is possible Friday and perhaps into Saturday as well. When that finally moves out to sea, things should begin to dry out as we head into Sunday and also on Monday. All right, for tonight, we're looking, rest of tonight, looking for mostly clear skies. Overnight lows dropping into the mid and upper 40s. Then tomorrow morning, we should have lots of sunshine. There may be a few high clouds mixed in with the sun from time to time tomorrow, but it'll still be a very, very nice day with temperatures getting into the upper 70s to around 80 in the afternoon and a light southeasterly wind. As we look farther into the crystal ball, another beautiful day on Wednesday with lots of sunshine and a high right around 80. Then that growing chance of showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, and some of that activity could be heavy in the afternoon and night, and at least a chance of some shower and thunderstorm activity Friday, and it could turn quite a bit cooler and still be rather cloudy and wet on Saturday. So the 2 best days of those 5 are the next 2.
That's right.
And hope you have a chance to get out and enjoy it.
Enjoy it. All right, Greg, thanks.
You're welcome.
We'll have more live post-game coverage from St. Louis coming up in sports.
And stay with us. We'll be back with more Arch Madness. About delivery. Governor Easley will celebrate tonight's Tar Heel victory with Chicago pizza and Orange Crush. It's the Carolina graduate's winnings from his bet with Illinois' governor. If the Illini had won, Governor Easley would be shipping out 2 pounds of barbecue, a pint of coleslaw, icebox pickles, I don't know what those are, cornbread, and cheer wine. A local company tonight is burning the midnight oil to make sure championship teas are on the shelves first thing in the morning. Dozens of workers at MJ Sophie will print roughly 15,000 shirts overnight. The designs are already drawn, and they will ship the shirts to stores like the UNC bookstore.
As you know, North Carolina wins the national championship tonight, bringing home the first trophy, the first title in 12 years. Let's go back to Kelsey Carlson, who was in Sky 5, flying high above Franklin Street. Kelsey?
Hi, Gerald. You can see this is one of the 6 fires that we have seen burning on Franklin Street. But as we kind of zoom out a little bit, you can see the crowd isn't as concentrated as it was before. You can actually see pavement now from the air. So it must be dispersing a little bit. Maybe people are going back inside or just headed down the street to see some other people. But where that crowd was tightly packed around Franklin and Columbia, you could see a lot of people are just kind of moving out of the area. A huge crowd, though, tonight. I think I heard Deborah say about 25,000 people crowded onto Franklin Street after the big win, and I believe it. I mean, this crowd is just huge. Compared to the 7,000 that we saw on Saturday night, this is much, much bigger. You can see this is obviously one of the things that students like to do, they have the fires going. They're jumping through it, which is not something the fire department wants to see. But they've got the T-shirts. You can see the guy swinging the shirt around. That's something you do after a big win. Of course, that's real exciting. And then we see those shirts just flying straight into the fire. We did see a couple of street signs and a bicycle go into the fire. But other than that, we're just kind of seeing these small fires burn. And again, the crowd's kind of moving around a little bit, not as tightly packed. One interesting little tidbit the fire chief shared with me on Saturday night, he said in the 90s, the police and the students kind of had a system down. Each knew what the other's limits were, and they worked real well together because there were several years in a row where they were celebrating these Final Four and championship games. He said it's different with this crowd because these students, this is all new to them. They haven't been through this routine before, so they weren't quite sure what to expect on Saturday. And the fire chief, sometimes that can be a good thing when students don't quite know how to celebrate, and sometimes it can be a bad thing. From where we are looking, it looks like the crowd is fairly under control. People are standing around, enjoying it. You can see the cameras flashing. They're just kind of soaking it all up, taking it in. Where Deborah's standing tonight, though, might be a completely different story. She has the people right there in front of her. Let's go street level and check in with Deborah Morgan.
Kelsey, I think you're right. It does seem like the crowd is letting up a little bit. Of course, they've been going strong now for about an hour and 20 minutes, 25 minutes now, and they really haven't quit. But it does seem like a few people may have just said, okay, I'm going to come down here and then go back home. But what's so fun about this, it's not just the students, it's parents, it's alumni, it's other people who may live in the community and be Tar Heel fans that just wanted to come down here and be a part of all of this. Now, with just a few minutes left to go in the game, our photographer Ed Wilson went into the bars and showed you what it looked like as people on Franklin Street were watching the game. Let's go ahead and show you that videotape of how crazy people were. It was fun being out here on Franklin Street because we didn't really know how the game was going until we heard either a cheer in the crowd or we heard a boo in the crowd. I actually even talked to a guy who said he missed his flight to St. Louis. He had a ticket to the game, but he said this is there's nowhere else that he would want to be other than Franklin Street. So he really wasn't all that sad that he missed his flight to St. Louis. Back here live now on Franklin Street, we have high fives, hugs, kisses, music going on here. There was even a guy playing a kitchen sink. Go figure. They turn anything into a musical instrument. That is just how happy Tar Heel fans are out here on Franklin Street. We're not going anywhere as long as the crowd is still here. So for now, we're going to send it back to you in the studio, and we'll be right here with more.
All right, let's see how long it takes for that kitchen sink to find its way into one of those fires. Deborah Morgan in Chapel Hill, thank you. We're going to go now to St. Louis. Ken Smith has a more subdued celebration with Tar Heel fans there. Ken?
Hey, Gerald. Right about now, a lot of Carolina fans have headed to Laclede's Landing, which is down on the river near the Arch. That's really been celebration central for Carolina fans since they've gotten here. We had a chance to talk to some of them, and here's what they had to say.
National champs, #1 team in the nation. I'll tell you what made it a great game. Sean May is just a dominant big man. They didn't have an answer for him.
Sean May kept on dunking it. It was so cool.
It was a great game because it went down to the wire. I'm telling you, man, the second half, I ain't know where we were, but hey, we came through. Man, it came through.
Well, you know what? I think it was just North Carolina be able to take it on the inside and the outside and just prove the game that they had.
Oh, now this has got to be an interesting ride home. Where's
Dr. Phil, we need help.
Yeah, this was tough. We knew one of us was going to be happy and one was going to be sad. But it was a good game, and that's all we wanted.
Of course, that's courtesy of Chief Photographer Richard Atkins. And we saw a lot of couples and families like that. Some were rooting for Illinois, some were rooting for Carolina. Well, tonight, the Carolina fans are going home happy and excited. Gerald?
And they've earned it. Ken Smith, good work out there in St. Louis, Ken.
And Tom, so many great plays tonight.
Yes, great game.
Did Carolina win?
I think
so. Yes, North Carolina is the national champion. The hoopla has really begun. We're going live to St. Louis with it all right after this on The Big Five. The North Carolina Tar Heels looking to bring home its first national championship since 1993, and the big guy, Sean May, is the difference. The Tar Heels battling Illinois for the national championship, and they win it. Our big guy, Jeff Gravely, is live in St. Louis. He was at courtside tonight, and once more we go back to Jeff. And Jeffy, how about those Tar Heels? They are the national champions.
Yes, they are, Mr. Suter, and I'll tell you what, we went into this game wondering, would we get the kind of game that really justifies the matchup of number 1, number 2? Absolutely we did. North Carolina up big, but then Illinois comes back, and how ironic. North Carolina gets blistered on the offensive board, but the bucket that put North Carolina ahead to stay a tip-in, an offensive rebound. Here's Bob Holliday's report on Carolina's 75-70 national championship win.
Top seed Illinois gets the choice of color. The Illini elect to wear orange, blending in with their 35,000 fans and coach Bruce Weber. Rashad McCants, guarded by stopper Darren Williams, looks to get off to a quick start. McCants for 3, out and in. Then McCants in transition. Carolina gets off to a 9-2 start. Illinois quickly answers with a couple of bursts by D. Brown. You get the feeling this game will be close as advertised. But late in the first half, Raymond Felton reaches for third gear. Felton, after sitting with 2 fouls, finds Marvin Williams for a slam. Then it's Felton for 3. Felton for 3 again. Carolina opens an 8-point lead. It gets better for the Tar Heels. Illinois rebounds. Sean May blocks the shot and leads the fast break himself. It is May that dishes to McCants. 3 more, 40-27 Heels, and the Carolina crowd comes alive. Illinois shoots 27% in the first 20 minutes and doesn't shoot at all on its final possession of the half. No team has come from double digits against North Carolina all season, but Illinois, undaunted, shows up for the second half with its shooting eye restored. First, Luther Head throws in a couple. Darren Williams buries the 3-ball 3 straight times. Only Sean May's incredible strength and finesse inside keeps Carolina in the lead. May scores 16 of UNC's first 25 in the second half, but Illinois keeps coming. Carolina suffers disaster when Felton forces the drive, loses the ball, and commits his 3rd foul. Soon he'll get number 4. Illinois, meanwhile, attacks patiently. When Head knocks in this 3, it is Illinois 70, North Carolina 70. This is the nail-biter everyone expected. Rashad McCants, silent all half, tries to make something happen. His shot misses, but Marvin Williams scores a colossal tip-in. Now it's Illinois' turn. But Felton steals the ball. Felton steals the ball. He'll make 1 of 2 free throws, and then Illinois needs 3. Head shoots, no good. Carolina grabs the rebound. North Carolina wins the national championship. The Tar Heels celebrate Roy Williams' first championship. Bob Holliday, WRL Sports, St. Louis.
Well, this was special for Roy Williams and for 3 seniors who went through 8 and 20. You look at Melvin Scott after the game, and he's just on the floor at midcourt kissing the logo and the smiles of Jawad Williams and his family. Let's head to the locker room to get some post-game reaction.
Yeah, talk about going out with a storybook ending, and I couldn't ask for it any better right now. It's, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now.
Man, it's a blessing, man. This is what you live, what you come to Carolina for, and it's been a long time coming, and now it's a storybook ending. You know, I can start my book tomorrow, start writing, and the last page was like, and we won it.
You know, national championship is a huge accomplishment. I personally feel that I'm definitely going to explore the next level, and probably make my decision really soon.
That was Rashad McCants under that New York Yankees hat, replaced by a national championship cap. I'm joined by college basketball analyst Bucky Waters. And Bucky, Sean May, the most outstanding player, but the most valuable tonight, Raymond Felton.
Well, you know, we expected a close game, but this game wasn't what I expected. Carolina is the nation's leading team offensively, and that stat itself is they have not won. The outstanding offensive team has not won since 1963. I expected a wide open game. Illinois with quick guards. It wasn't. It was a half-court grinder. Both teams managed just 4 points. But the key, in my opinion, was Felton. He was presented with the Bob Cousy Award this morning, Jeff. Emblematic of the nation's best point guard. He got that this morning in a trophy. Tonight, he showed 47,000 people and the world that that's exactly what it took. Key guy, and a gutty performance by the coach too, because he got 2 quick fouls, and Roy elected to keep him in the game and go zone. And I thought that zone was very important in that 13-point lead at half.
Bucky, we'll come back to you in just a second, but Tom Suter has a special guest on the phone. Tom?
Thanks, Jeff. I understand that we have the big senior, Jawad Williams. Jawad, is that you on the phone there? Jawad Williams. Hello. Oh, well, we just lost Jawad Williams. Those cell phones, man. Jeff, we're going back to you. Jawad, we lost him there with the high-tech technology. Jeff, you and Bucky take it away. Tell Bucky he can have my hat.
Yeah, actually, he can hear you now. He doesn't want your hat, right?
No, I thought you looked like Dracula in Syracuse, frankly.
Well, unbelievable. Let's talk about Sean May a little bit. I mean, feed the beast, and he was a beast tonight on his birthday.
It was a dancing bear with velvet paws, and every time that ball didn't go right in there to start things, I got very, very nervous. An extraordinary performance. He was the one Carolina player that Illinois did not have an answer for. But occasionally they would drift away, forget about him, throw up those long threes. Just penetrating and shooting short jumpers enables him to get on the offensive board. He's lost when you throw up the long three. A great performance. Like I say, I kid about Bettis of the Steelers and get on the bus. This guy was the bus. And tonight he was absolutely a pile driver down the middle. But he had to have room service. Somebody had to get it to him, and Raymond did.
Well, the numbers on Sean May: 26 points, 10 rebounds. He was 10 of 11 from the floor. You've coached in the ACC before. What does this mean to Roy Williams to finally get that opportunity to trim that net and win a national championship?
Well, you know, we were in 3 Final Fours in 4 years during the Vic Bubas era, and we never won it. So I can only imagine the throw. I'm very happy for him. I was pulling hard for the Tar Heels, for Roy. It's just, there was also a Hall of Fame event this morning in which Jim Calhoun and Jim Boeheim were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Both of them spoke of getting this win in the national championship game and how it changed their life. They got the gorilla off their back, and now they can go about not having to be defensive. And I thought Roy got a little defensive there with a lot of the questions about talent versus team. It's history now. He's proven it, and in 5 years.
He made some good moves tonight, like you mentioned earlier, going to that zone to protect Raymond. And Illinois in the first half didn't take advantage of it. The second half they did.
Well, yeah, but even that, the zone took them out of their rhythm. Weren't you? Everybody's impressed with Illinois and their quick guards. They have 3 terrific guards. They move the ball, they shoot well, and that zone really just, you know, kind of threw a brick in the transmission and enabled the Tar Heels to get that lead. I thought that Illinois came out so well in the second half after the last play of the first half was a shot clock violation. How'd you like to be down 13 points and not get the last shot? I mean, that's a real that's a motivational speech and a half.
If we have the video of Raymond Felton, I want us to run it if we can. In the first half, there were a couple of times I was sitting on press row, and he threaded one to Sean May that it was like a quarterback hitting a receiver between 2 defensive backs. And then when it was 65-65, Raymond Felton was at his best.
Well, yeah, he hit the big threes. He was 4 for 5 from 3, 17 points, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers, and he had 2 steals. I think he sold about 45 programs, a couple of popcorns. I mean, he demonstrated on the strength of that Cousy Award. He really is. And tonight he was the best point guard in the country. He only gets in trouble when he gets going too fast. When he thinks about it just a little bit, he's a surgeon.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who comes back on this North Carolina team. They've got some lottery picks possibly, and maybe this was the year for them to win, because I don't know what the team's going to look like next year.
Well, we can't answer that. You can't blame the kids. It's an awful lot of money. But there was one other, at the end of the game, you know, when Roy Williams gets upset with the defense, he takes the rims down, Jeff. Takes them right off the backboard, and they practice for an hour or so. You don't have to think about offense because there are no rims there. And I thought at the end of that game, that kind of tenacity and concentration on defense, Illinois just struggled just to get a shot. Very impressive performance. Even though Carolina is the highest scoring team in the country, I thought it was their defense down the stretch tonight that won it.
Bucky, we appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks,
We're
Jeff.
going to get you one of those hats like Tom has.
That's okay. If you do, I want a propeller in it. I mean, I want to jazz it up a little.
I do want to say one thing back to you guys, though. It was interesting at the end of the game. I watched Roy Williams the last 30 seconds of that ball game, and it's the last 10 seconds when the clock ticked down. He took his glasses off, put them in his pocket, started walking toward Bruce Weber. All of a sudden, one of his assistants grabbed him. He had a big smile on his face, and all of a sudden, Sean May came over and hit him from the blind side. It was unbelievable. The next thing I did is looked in the crowd, and his wife, Wanda, and son, Scott, were sitting there. Both had incredibly red faces, tears pouring down their face. They were extremely proud of husband and dad that has won the national championship. It means a lot to that family to finally come through. Old Roy can win the big one. Tom?
You betcha, Jeff and Bucky. Now, Jeff, I want you to hold on here because we've got something we want to show the people. We're going to show this exclusive picture of you. Now you're the big guy, but back in 1979, a floppy-haired JV player at Oxford Webb High School. Jeff, you were so sweet looking, kind of looked like one of the early Beatles. Of course, Jeff, a three-sport star for the Webb Warriors, eventually including the quarterback on a 1-in-10 football team. Now, if I'd known it was going to be show and tell, I would have brought in my 1958 picture when I played Biddy League basketball, but that's a picture for another day. So, Jeff, I hope you enjoyed that because we sure did. Jeff Gravely, Bucky Walker. Go ahead, Jeff.
I think I know where that came from, too. Ken Smith just told me that my former classmate, whom he did a story on, did she give up the goods? Did she pull it out of the annual? I tell you what, Tom, that is quite embarrassing. I'm glad it's about 1 o'clock. Nobody saw it.
Oh, a lot of people saw it. Even if they didn't, we got a big kick out of it. Jeff, you and Bucky, our crew of Brad Simmons, Jay Hardy, Bob Holliday, all did such an excellent job for us all week covering the Final Four, the championship game, and we certainly appreciate it. Want to get this in quick. A lot of things else going on. Major League Baseball is underway in full swing. What a game for the Tigers. Dimitri Young against Kansas City. Not one, not two, 3 home runs. The Tigers off to the good start, 11-2 win. The opener for the A's playing Baltimore. Bird fourth. That's Luis Matos. Hits it deep. I think it might be. It is. 2-run homer. Baltimore wins it 4-0 over Oakland. More in the American League. Chicago over Cleveland. 1-0. Toronto over Tampa Bay and Seattle over Minnesota. National League Mets and Reds 6-6 bottom of the ninth. Joe Randa. This is going to be a walk-off game-ending homer. Cincinnati 7-6 over the Mets. Season opener, Arizona, Chicago. Little Bear second. Derek Lee with the base hit. This will put Chicago up 7-0. They win it. Cubs win it 16-6. More in the National League. Milwaukee over Pittsburgh. Philadelphia over Washington. And Colorado over San Diego. All right, the rain delayed and shortened Bell South Classic goes to sudden death today. 5-way playoff. That Masters champion Phil Mickelson wins on the 4th hole. How about that? Getting ready for this week's Masters. Phil Mickelson, the winner. And here are those in the 5-way playoff with Mickelson, the champion of the Bell South. Kevin Harvick, Sunday at Bristol, wins the Food City 500. First win in 55 tries, puts him 6th in the points chase. The top 10 in points, Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, Elliott Sadler, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin. Big weekend for Kevin Harvick. He makes it the double-double by winning the rain-delayed Sharpie 250 Busch race at Bristol. Harvick has to be on cloud 9 tonight, as well as the North Carolina Tar Heels and their fans, the national champions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's got to be somewhere you can weave that Jeff picture into your plays of the day tomorrow.
He was right.
I got to bring mine in.
He was right cute.
I was much cuter than Jeff when I was.
Prove it. Prove it.
All right,
Thank you, Tom.
All right, we have much more coming your way. More Arch Madness.
Sky 5 is hovering above Franklin Street. Those young people are still there celebrating. The fires are still going on. What a celebration, and why not? UNC Chapel Hill wins the national championship. And we'll be right back. It is 1:02, 1:03 in the morning, and Pandemonium is still overtaking Franklin Street.
That's right. We're going to go back to Party Central. Deborah Morgan is standing by at Franklin Street. Deb.
Oh, Gerald and Pam, they are not even close to being tired yet. As a matter of fact, we're getting more bonfires being set right here on Franklin Street. We're right near the corner of Columbia and Franklin Street. We've got more people just standing around the fires. They're clapping. There's a drum beat going. People are still just dancing in the streets, literally jumping up and down, still having such a great, great time. As a matter of fact, here, I showed this a little earlier, but this is a special edition put out by the News and Observer. The front page says 2005 NCAA basketball champions, nothing finer. And of course, MVP Sean May right there on the cover. And then you flip it around and you see some of the people involved with the Tar Heels, all the great players, and of course the coach, Roy Williams. So this is such an exciting time. People are carrying these around. As a matter of fact, they're even burning these in the bonfires. Of course, they're taking anything in there that they can get, shirts, anything, to be able to keep the bonfires going. As a matter of fact, start brand new ones. So here's the view from down here on the ground. Courtney Davis behind this camera. We are going to send it up to Sky 5, where they can see me here. We are at the University Baptist Church on the corner of Columbia and Franklin Street, and they're doing a great job up there. Kelsey Carlson and Gil Hollingsworth behind the camera, and Richard Davis is flying. So we want to give them a shout out too for doing such a great job tonight. Back to you guys.
All right. They are still there.
Still jumping over that fire.
That's right. That's the part that bothers me too. I just think somebody's going to get hurt.
All right. Well, I don't believe anybody's getting hurt in St. Louis, so we'll go back to Jeff Gravely, who is safe and sound for all we know. Jeff?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're about 30 feet high on scaffolding, and when you get a guest up here, they have to climb this pole or this ladder like a fireman. We are joined now by the athletic director at the University of North Carolina, Mr. Dick Badur, who made the climb, but you could have probably jumped up here.
I could have jumped, but nobody told me I was going to have to come up that high, but I could have flown up here, that's for sure.
The emotions that you're feeling right now after seeing this team come through in such a gritty performance.
I'm so proud of this team. A lot's been written out here. I don't know about back home about team versus talent, and what we showed tonight, that it's all about team. This is what Roy Williams has been talking about since day one, and you don't do what we did tonight and not be a great team. We showed a lot of poise, a lot of determination, and a lot of spirit tonight.
How special is this for Roy, and how have you had a chance to talk to him?
I have had a chance to talk with him. It's chaos still in there right now, but it's a fun chaos, and he, just like the whole team and everybody, just feels great. He has not felt this pressure of never having won a national championship. He's a great coach. He'd be the same great coach tomorrow had we not won. He wanted this so much for the university and for his team. So I just think it's wonderful.
How proud do you think Dean Smith is of
I
Mr.
saw
Williams?
Coach as well. Saw Coach Smith, and he's just beaming. He was with Michael Jordan, and they both were beaming. So it's a special night for Carolina basketball.
How tough was it to go through 8 and 20? Does that make this even more rewarding?
It does make it even more rewarding, especially because of what the students went through, the student athletes went through in that kind of season. And to have the tradition of Carolina basketball, the excellence tradition, and then for them to come back and leave their mark on the program like they have done is truly, truly special.
Well, I can tell you Franklin Street is hopping.
I hear it is. I hope it's safe. Let's
safe.
make sure it's safe.
The policemen there are doing a great job. The Dean Dome was rocking.
That's
great job by you guys putting the game on a big screen, and it was hopping. The place is hopping mad. It is a 6-fire championship. Well, they're under control.
I'm glad it went well in the Smith Center, because that's what we wanted, was an opportunity for people to come there in that kind of environment, enjoy each other, and enjoy the outcome of this game. And thank you guys for coming out here. We don't take this kind of coverage for granted either, so our friends and supporters back home can have a first-hand experience, and you guys do that, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely. I know you guys are flying back tomorrow. Will you have any kind of rally?
We'll definitely have a celebration in the Smith Center. As soon as we can get the coaching staff away from the media in the Dome, we'll sort it out and get the word out as soon as we can. But you can count on a celebration.
Big time celebration.
Amen. All right, go Heels.
Mr. Badur, thank you for your time.
Thank all of you guys.
Absolutely. Be safe going down the fire ladder.
I'll need some help.
All right. Okay, guys, we'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
All right. And of course, we thank Dick Badur for taking his time out to come and say hello to us, and a lot of people appreciate that back here. Jeff, thank you.
And he alluded to champions homecoming, and absolutely, we're going to be there for that. The crews, the team should arrive at RDU tomorrow at about 3:45 or so. We're going to have live team coverage when that happens. A welcome home rally should begin at 4:15 at the Dean Smith Center, and we will be there.
And a lot of the people down Franklin Street will be there, provided they're awake at 3:45 in the afternoon tomorrow.
I'll bet they will be.
Let's go back to Deborah Morgan, who is standing by with a few thousand people who are going to be at that rally. Deborah?
Yeah, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be calling out to sick, to work sick tomorrow and playing hooky from school, because this party is going to last well into the wee hours of the morning. We're already after 1 o'clock in the morning, and they're still going strong. Look at all the people here, 25,000 people max. They said at the height of that, I think that slacked off a little bit, but I talked to a police officer just a short time ago. He said there have been a couple of arrests. As you can see, the bonfires are still going strong, but he said, that's something to expect in a crowd this big. You're going to have a few people arrested, but all in all, they said everybody is getting along really well, that there haven't been any major incidents. We certainly haven't seen any shop windows broken out or any kind of vandalism like that. People have been trying to climb the posts, trying to get the Franklin Street sign. As you can imagine, I've seen some people climbing some trees, and actually one person fell out of the tree, so into the crowd, we're hoping that that person is okay. But all in all, this has been a very well-behaved crowd. They're really having a great time. You can see how loud it is out here. People are still, at this hour of the morning, just partying their hearts out. So for now, we're going to send it back to you, but we'll still be out here.
All right, Deborah, thank you very much.
And, but they're students, and that's what they do when they're not studying. They're experts in celebrating.
You always count on that loud bullhorn. As soon as you start talking, it never fails.
It's like a dull roar out there.
Kelsey Carlson is in Sky 5 above Franklin Street. Let's go to her now and get her perspective. Kelsey.
Gerald, it's funny looking at it from the air because it's like watching a television screen with the mute button on. When you hear Deborah's live shot, it's great to actually hear the roar of the crowd because we can certainly see it from up here. Although the crowd has thinned out a little bit, you can definitely see some pavement where you could only see people before. It is a school night, so I can only assume that all these good students are going home to do their homework and get ready for the big rally tomorrow. At the height of it, we saw 9 fires going at one time. We can make out about 3 or 4 right now, and there's still a few people kind of doing the bunny hop over them, and that's what you do, I guess, when you celebrate a big win. This is an interesting crowd, though. They poured out of those bars as soon as the game was over, and they just flocked to the corner of Columbia and Franklin Streets. It's been a lot of fun watching this from the air. You see the group of kids just, swinging their T-shirts around, taking pictures, high-fiving one another, dancing in the streets, and now they kind of seem to be acting like they don't know what's left to do. So they're just sort of standing around or maybe going down the street a bit, going back inside, getting something to eat, or going back home. It's going to be a big day tomorrow, too, so they should go home and get some sleep. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a lot of people, and this is a really special memory for students at UNC Chapel Hill. This is a wider shot that Gil's showing us here of Franklin Street. You can still make out a couple of the fires, and you can see how far the crowd extends into the street. It is a lot of fun seeing this from the air. It's an amazing perspective to see the flashes of the camera. Deborah Morgan obviously has a wonderful view too. Let's send it back down to her to see how the crowd sounds and looks from her end.
Well, this really has been a great view that we've had up here on this staircase because we've been able to oversee everybody and kind of be away from the crowd a little bit. I wanted to blend in with my Carolina blue, but I kind of got a little nervous about maybe going down there in the middle of all that crowd. But anyway, Kelsey was just talking about getting something to eat. This pizza place across the street on Franklin Street said they're going to stay open till 3 o'clock in the morning. You can tell that they are just giving away or selling slice after slice of pizza. They are going strong in there because, yeah, you work up an appetite when you're out here celebrating like this. So the food is still to be had. A lot of the other businesses have shut down and the bars will close shortly, but this is still a very active scene down here. People have their video cameras and as well as their other cameras that they're just taking pictures to be able to take this home and remember it for the rest of their lives. In past years, I've also seen people bring down kids, and we saw that earlier today too. People bringing their kids down here because they want to be a part of it too, and just keep it for their memories as well. So it is quite an amazing sight down here. It couldn't be a better place to celebrate if you are a Tar Heel fan, and certainly they're going to keep going very strong. And when you have this many people, I can't say it enough about how amazing it's been that they've been so well behaved, and other than some fireworks going off in the middle of the crowd and a few other things that have gone wrong, really all in all, it has been a great, great crowd. Pam and Gerald?
It has been a sensational night. 25,000 fans, 6 bonfires. What a celebration.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm sure police are happy about that it's gone so well and so smoothly.
Yes, yes.
All right, Deborah Morgan, live at Franklin Street in Chapel Hill. Thank you, Deborah. Good work out there. I want to remind you, of course, you can watch our live coverage continuing tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. on WRAL, of course, 5 to 7, and then 7 to 8 on Fox 50.
And, of course, when the team comes home tomorrow, there's going to be a grand, huge homecoming at the Dean Smith Center, and we will have that live for you as well.
All right. I guess that's us. That's it for us. We appreciate you hanging with us. Once again, 75 to 70, North Carolina national champions once again.
Good night, everybody.
Every Thursday night at the same time,